All right. I think everything's set up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Anarchist Project. Today, um, I was trying to think of what to say for this, and we're going to be adding more lights to the Falcon. That's the general idea of today, but this is actually probably the most unplanned stream I'm going to do so far, in that uh, we I know kind of what I want to do, but I did not bother doing really any investigation into how hard it was going to be, or how long it would take, or everything I thought I would need. I grabbed all the materials I think I would need, but I don't know for sure. So we're gonna just kind of wing it today. The plan, obviously, here, and let me get this thing started so we can prove that everything still works, just to keep ourselves from going crazy. The plan is to take the existing idea of lights in the Millennium Falcon and add more throughout in places that we think that they should be. Right now, the lights are inside some plastic tubing, and they just go through the engine, and they're kind of curled up in the corner because I had to turn some off, and it's all around just not the ideal solution for this. I'd rather get them out of that plastic tubing and run some wires through and get lights everywhere I need them to. So that's what we're going to be doing. As far as how we're going to do that and exactly what we're going to do, though, I don't know for sure, and I'm hoping that I can get some feedback and from you all, and as we go, I'll learn things and figure out, oh, this may not be possible, or this looks like it'll be really cool. So we'll figure it out. We're going to have to kind of tinker and trial and error some things and figure out where to go. So to start with, I am actually we need to stop before we do anything here and write a quick function in our Python script that will allow us to test whether or not the lights are working. Because we're going to be cutting things apart and wiring them up and soldering them, and we want to be able to check and make sure that once we're done with that everything is working and troubleshoot it. So we need to write a quick hardware test function. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And let me pull you all over to this screen, and then we'll change our current goal right now, because obviously we're not going to make the Python library. So give me just a second, wait for it to come up. There we go. That took a second to load. All right, current goal, and we're going to add a test function for the lights. All right, done. And then I'm actually going to make this. Whoops. Let's make that a little bigger. Okay, that works. All right, so here we are. And we'll zoom in on this so it's easier to see. So right now we have our Falcon controller, and we're actually running all these functions right now. That's what you can see running on the engines. So we're going to stop this, and that'll freeze the lights in place where they are. And then let's go here into the class and define a test function. And I'm thinking what we need to do for this. So light test. I think we need to test the red, green, and blue component of every pixel, as well as brightness on all of those. So we probably need to do something similar to what we did with the Night Rider mode. Yeah, let's see. All the rest of these functions are not really for... Well, we probably don't need to cycle through them. Like, I'm thinking about whether or not we need to do like a turn on one light at a time. We could probably turn them all on at a time and just cycle through the colors that we need. So we don't need to define. Let's go ahead and say what we're going to do here. Runs a test of all the lights. And we should probably make this a does not return function. Infinite loop. Just something that'll keep running over and over again. Alright, so we need to just basically do red and then green and then blue. Start from black, go all the way up to full red and all the way back down, and the same with green, the same with blue. And that'll let us know that at least everything seems to be working right. So we could probably go down to one of our other functions here. And just copy what we already got going on. 9.05. I'll make this 0.05. It's going to run fast. And actually, you know what? We should probably just go ahead and... what would be the best way to do this? Nah, we need to do it in here. Now 0 sleep time and count less than or equal to FF. Set engine color main count. So that would be blue. So we could just shift that over by 16. And I know we're ignoring some of the stuff we did last time, but this is just a test function, so I don't care that much. All right. So we're basically going to repeat this several times. So first, go full red. And then next thing we're going to do is taper off red. Your device will restart outside of active hours. Okay. As long as it doesn't restart my computer in the middle of the stream, I'm okay. I probably shouldn't have said anything about that. Alright, so taper off red. So this time we're going to do... And while it's greater than or equal to 0. And then minus equals 1. Alright, so goes all the way up through all the possible red values and then all the way back down. Alright, then we copy this again, and we just need to do it for green and blue. Oh, whoops. Go full green, taper off green, and this value gets shifted over by 8 instead of 16. And then finally, do it one more time. Don't know why it auto indents them. And this is blue. And then we don't need to shift it at all. One last thing, I mentioned earlier how I think we should do this as a infinite loop. So we're going to do that. While true. And then let me just take all of this and move it over. All right, that should work. And then here in the main, mf.lightTest. So let's try it now. Run this. There's red all the way up to full red brightness, and then all the way back down. And then green. And then finally blue. Okay, good. So it looks like that's working right. We'll have to, so the other thing we're gonna have to do is adjust the values used here. So if I go back into our code here, at the top, I've specified the engine lower and the engine upper, and then the strip length. And for this particular thing, we don't want to just do the engines, we want to do all lights, because we want to see that everything's working as we go. So maybe we need to fix that real quick too, because right now we're just doing the engines, which albeit the engines are the only thing there, so that makes sense. But for this set engine color, we probably need to go through, or we probably need to make a new function that is set all lights or something. So I'm going to go to this function and just copy it. Set all color. And this sets the color of all the lights. Returns none. Okay. And then we really just, I guess we just take out this. .4p in pixel list. Set all. And what's our pixel list look like? Create lights. Countless and strip length. Okay, so that should work. So let me stop this. And actually, I guess I haven't fully finished it yet. Because I need to go back to our test function and use and call that function. Here it is. And we'll just substitute set all color in every location. All right, let's run it again. And I'm going to put this on full screen so we can see what we're doing. All right, so you notice now that there's like more red over in the corner here. And that's because some of the lights are balled up in there. But now we're turning on every single pixel on the LED strip at the same time. You also notice that it takes longer because before it was just lighting up 12 LEDs. And now it has to light up over twice as many. So it actually seems to be running only about half as fast. I haven't fully... Yeah, there's only so fast I can run the LED strip. And this is actually right here probably about as fast as it could go. It's fairly quick, but it's not the speediest thing in the world. So we're doing good though. Okay, so it looks like that works. So now I think we're done with the code. We have a test function, so now we need to go through it and figure out where on earth we are going to actually light everything up at. We know we want to do the engines. That's a given. As far I wanted to do some underglow, like landing light stuff around the landing gear, but I don't know how hard it's going to be. And then we probably wanted to do like maybe one in the cockpit, one maybe in this Top Gun area here in the top. I forget what the thing is called, but you know, the chair at the top where they sit and shoot, Top Gunner's chair. And then I can't think of anything else. I know we mentioned headlights before, like the front lights, but there may not really be a spot up there to put an LED. Maybe inside some of these like vent areas we could put one. It's really hard to tell. I have the instruction manual out because there's a good chance that I'm going to break something in the process of trying to do this. I don't want to have that be a permanent problem. So I'm keeping that out just in case. But yeah. All right. I guess let's yeah, in the top turret. Yeah. That's exactly. Thank you. Thank you for that name. I couldn't think of the word. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this keyboard out of the way. And I apologize, this isn't the screen, but I got to be able to see I'm not be able to see the chat when I'm focused over here, so I got to keep it up close to me. Got a soldering kit here. And then we got some stuff to actually do this. So we'll get this open. Go. Hey, it came with some zip ties. How about that? These might actually be useful. All right. So we get some wire, 5 different colors. And I'll go ahead and get this opened up. I probably should have opened this beforehand. Oops, more tape. There's always more tape. There we go. Alright, cool. It's in a little spool thing for us to pull it out of. Let me pop this out. Go. Yeah, so the turret under... Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And so like I said, this is going to be a very make it up as we go stream, because I have not planned out very much of this. I'm just more curious just to see what we could come up with on the fly. Alright, let's pull this out. Gotta get all these wires started. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday afternoon. There's the rod. Let me know how it's going. I didn't even bother to look if this was threaded or single core when I bought it. It's threaded. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. Threaded is ideal. So I guess next steps, we will take the top off of the back section here so we can get the engines wired out. And I think, so what we're going to do, we're not going to wire up things immediately. First, we're going to go through and figure out where all the pixels need to go. And the reason for that is, once you cut the pixels apart, the only way you can get them back together is if you solder wires. And I don't want to cut things apart unnecessarily. So we need to do that first, figure out where everything's going to go, and then we can start planning out our wiring. Because otherwise, too, we'll be going back and forth an unnecessary amount of times. Finally, we also need to take careful notes of where everything ends up, because that's going to matter in our program here, how we write the code. I've talked before in the past about making like some sort of visual components, like desktop program out of Python that I could use to control everything. And I still want to do that, but it's really not a priority right now. So, all right, all my wires are already becoming unspooled. Let's get yellow. Green. Red. Where's black? There it is. Black. We'll see how well this little thing works. I bought this wire kit, cost like 15 bucks off Amazon. And already the spools seem to be a little So we'll see how it does. But basically now all the colors come out of the edge here. And I can just pull on whatever one I need. And add some more wire. Alright. So that's not necessary right now. We decided we're just going to take this apart and figure out what we're doing. Okay. Trying not to break anything. Oh, wait, we can pull off some of these pieces to start. Actually, I'm going to set the instruction manual down over here. So I can lay this box down and use the whole thing. All right. That comes off. And this is where our where everything's coming into. The wires are coming into the back right in here. I kind of like them. It seems to work pretty well, them coming in there, so we might leave that. Oh, dang it. As much trouble as I have with this piece coming off, I wonder if I missed something on the instructions. Alright, that's off. And this one needs to come up. There we go. This one pops off pretty easy. You can see all the wires wound up in there, all the cabling. And then finally this one, I remember being a pain. Oh, man. Okay, yes, got it. I learned from last time. All right, and then we probably need this to come up too because we're going to have to run something through there. Okay. I'm going to slide this over a bit so that I can reach everything a little easier. Man, it looks really bright on that screen now with the whole green. And then unfortunately, I'm going to have to go ahead and turn these off. Excuse me. All right, we need to keep our connectors on the end the same. So whatever we start with, wherever the lights start at, it probably needs to stay back here. That would make the most, well, maybe not. There's a big empty space right up in here. And so it may make more sense to have the light start on this side and go this way, so that right here I can put all the big power cables and everything that are coming in. All right, this was a bit tricky to get in the first time. I'll have to take it out. Then we're going to have to get it out of this plastic tube as well. And I'm not sure how well that's going to go, because it's kind of like hot glued on. It's already splitting open. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will come apart nice and easy. Huh. All right, so let's feed this back through. There we go. Everything's out. Okay. So that looks good. So looking at this now, it's going to be very tricky to put lights by the landing gear. But maybe... Oh, I'm finding a spot here where this might actually work. It's just kind of how these modules are built. Some are really easy to get to and others are not. That might work. All right, just thinking in my head here, sorry. All right, well, first things first, we got to get the lights out of this tube. As usual, as we're going, if you have any questions or anything, please let me know. Or if you have suggestions, especially, because this is getting to look like it's going to be very complicated. I wonder if I should go ahead and just try and take the front apart as well. Let me take the dish off. Whoops. See, already stuff's not coming apart the way it's supposed to. All right, we know these pieces come off. And I am already running out of room to put all this stuff. I hope I remember everything goes when I put it back. That would be tragic. All right, that comes up. Don't know that there's anything in there other than we just need to run wires through here. need to get this front section off, though, because I know we're going to want to run something up through here. I think I've mostly got the landing lights figured out where they could go. It's just getting wires to everything is going to be tricky. I don't remember how everything comes apart, too. What does that look like? Run something through there? Oh, maybe. That might work perfectly, actually. Okay. Let's get this piece up. And I'm hoping this one comes up. Seems to. Oh, this was just on by gravity the whole time. I forget how much of this stuff actually is literally just like gravity holding it together. So that works. I guess that's a way we could run lights to the cockpit if we wanted to do that, which I do. Oh no, I broke it. Broke something. There we go. All these pieces are designed to sit on top of something and be held on with gravity, so they're not actually very structurally sound. All right. So this whole thing literally just lays flat, except it's connected by one thing up in here. There it is. That piece right there. Perfect. All right, that'll line up just right. Man, it feels kind of bad pulling this thing apart. Knowing all the work that was put into it. So the last thing to decide is if we should pull up anything in the front here, and I don't know the answer to that. Maybe there's a way we can wire it up where we end. No, I don't think so. I think we're going to kind of have to wire our way around it in a big loop. I don't see it being easy to come back later. Okay. Well, let's see. If we need to get one in there. So I guess, okay, so figuring out. We need to do the engines, obviously. Want to do the landing legs, so we got to do 2 here, 1 here. There's 1 up here. And then I think we need to come back and put 1 at the turret. And then come up and do this landing leg, and then the cockpit, and then come back and do these 2 landing legs. Each of the landing legs needs its own LED. The cockpit and the turret probably need their own LED. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The engine needs so many on each side. What fits good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 5, really. 5 is kind of the best number for the engine. At least that's what would fit best. We can pop this back in place where it was. So 5 on each side for the engine. So that's 10. So that's 19. And then I would like to put something up here, but there's not really a place to display it or an easy way to get wires up there. And I'm hesitant to take off one of these panels, but I think I have to see it. I just don't know how it comes off. think this piece is holding it down, if I remember it correctly. Yep, that seemed to do it. Alright, there's something in the middle that is clipped to. Don't know what. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it is hollow all the way up. Well, should we or should we leave it? Any thoughts? There's basically like a little slot on the inside of the fork here that we could possibly put one in as kind of like, I guess, a laser or something. Other than that, there's not really a way to get one on the very front. There's too much like stuff in the way. You wouldn't be able to see it at all, or we'd have to take something off and you'd see wires and stuff. It would be awful. So the only one I can think of is possibly right there. What it means running a whole wire all the way up and then back for each one, and I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know. Here, I'm trying to pull out this extra piece that popped off. Yep. There we go. I mean, I guess if we're going to do it, we should do it. Like, there's no point in spending all this time. We just need to test as we go because it's possible the wire... I'm worried about the length of the wires as well. And if they're too long, we could have signal integrity issues and the colors won't work quite right. So, but we'll try it. And then I guess we could always cut them out and resolder if we need to. So let me pull this one off. Go. Man, I hope I remember where all this stuff goes when I put it back. No, something broke. Not good. Alright, that came up appropriately. I don't know where this came off of. Dang it. I knew I was going to do something like that. Alright, I'll have to look back at the instructions to figure that in a second. I'll stick it kind of off to the side weird so we know something's up. Alright, next thing's next. Let's get our LEDs out of this tube. Which could possibly be easier said than done. Actually, the tube's peeling apart a little bit. The plastic is. I gotta be a little careful too. I'm a little worried. It's like where I'm at, it's super dry today. It's very cold outside, and but it's so dry. There's so much static electricity, and I'm worried I'm gonna like fry something here if I'm not careful. All right, we got the controller board out too. I think we should plan on running the controller board back in, or to a different spot. Yeah, I think this spot here will work just fine. go. Gonna have to start creating a garbage pile. Guess my little solder holder thing could work for that. Okay. I don't want to tear up the tube too much because it would be cool to still be able to use it. But I may not have a choice here to get this out. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday. Not much going on here, so other than this. All right, cool. Got that off the end there, and I just got to do the other end over here. This one I got to do without breaking anything. This is tricky. I may just leave this light here and not use it for anything. That might make the most sense, actually. All right. All right, let's cut this tube open. Whoops. I think that flew into my keyboard. Man, these things are not easy to get through. They advertise this on Adafruit as, oh, you can just, you know, like slide it out of the tube if you need to. But in practice, it's actually pretty difficult. There we go. It's coming off. So what we'll do is we'll lay out all the LEDs where we think they should go. I'm trying to do this without cutting the strip at all. That'd be a pain to fix. But we'll lay out all the LEDs where we think they should go. And then we will go through and cut wires for the links of everything. And then solder everything together. Put it all in. And then, theoretically, test it. Just to make sure everything's connected and works. All right, almost there. There we go. All right, got the tube apart. Oh, you know what? In order to get the tube off, I'm going to have to cut this thing apart, or cut this connector off. Which I don't really feel bad about. I don't really like that connector anyway. All right, I'm going to cut these end wires off because we don't need them. We are just modifying the strip. All right, forget it. I'm just going to have to peel this off. I thought I was hoping I could just slide it out, but evidently it's actually pretty tricky. So we're just going to have to go through and peel it. Well, I know this isn't the most interesting thing in the world. It's just part of it, you know. You want to make something cool, you got to do all the grunt work. So, if you have a If anybody has any interesting stories or anything they want to talk about, now's the time, because we're just going to be sitting here peeling away at this for a bit. I am all ears. I really need to come up with some music for this, don't I? Something to play in the background. Make it a little more interesting. Once I get all this out, I should probably do another test just to make sure that I didn't break anything taking this apart. Wow, this just keeps going. There we go. Making progress. Trying to make progress. It needs like a seam line or something that you could easily tear it on. That would be good for them to do, because that would make this come off way easier. I think this whole tube exists so you can like submerge this thing if you want to, which is a pretty neat idea. Just not not executed the best way ever for what they market. Almost a third of the way there. I didn't think that 20 minutes of the stream was just going to be me trying to peel this tube open. But I really do need most of these lights, so... I have to be careful. Once they're out too, all the leads are exposed, so I gotta be careful not to short them when I'm testing them. Not to cross anything, because that will break something. Alright, getting close. I might be able to reach a point here soon where I could just kind of like... Oh, there we go. Start sliding it out. Please don't break, please don't break. Aha! Done. Alright, I'm just gonna throw that over there. Don't need that anymore. Alright, cool. Got the lights out. So now, let's do a quick test. Let's make sure nothing has gotten destroyed in the process. Alright, that over. Plug this in. Plug this in. And then let's try and run it. Please work. All right. It's looking good on all of them. I'm not seeing any dead pixels. So I think we avoided any disasters. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. And I'm sorry, I got to unplug this though, but it's super bright. And then we can unplug that. All right, cool. So now we have a place to start. So anytime we want to cut something, we have to cut it on these exposed copper leads so that we can solder the two things together later. Shouldn't be that hard to do. I say that. Just look at the way this strip is built. It's very interesting. I gotta figure out what this material is that they did it with. It looks pretty neat. Okay, so let's figure this out. If we're starting here, we're probably gonna have just one LED that's not doing anything. Or maybe we could use as like a test on or off light. So we need one cut off. And then we need 5 here, 5 here. So a strip of 5 and then another strip of 5. And then, so that's 11. And then 8, 9, come through here. 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, no, wait. Oh, I missed a bunch there. 1, 6, 11, 13, 14, 11, 12, 13. Counting is hard. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then 8 left over. Supposedly. And then for these 2 landing legs in the back, I'm wondering if we actually do need to cut them apart or if we should just keep them together. It would save us just a little bit of work. I don't know. I will try my best not to mess this up, but we'll figure it out. We know that we're going to start with the engines going around the back. That's kind of a given. Also, power is not as straightforward as you would think as well. Because power can kind of be run. It doesn't necessarily have to be run with the loop, although that might make it easiest just to do that anyway. I'll probably just do that for the sake of simplicity. Alright, I'm going to start cutting these things apart. Something in here. There we go. Oh, immediate mess up. I didn't cut it very evenly. There's almost nothing to solder to. I might have to go get some scissors, because that might be easier to see what I'm doing. But I've already burned one LED, basically. That was better. That's unfortunate. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've just done it again. This is very hard to do. I'm gonna mess up a lot if I do this just this way, so I need to go get some scissors or something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. This is very tricky to do the way these leads are, because there's not a lot of lead to work with. They really need to be like twice as long as they are on this thing. Note that in a product review or something. Okay. Yeah, this is a little better. I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so that's one 5 LED strip. That's going to go here. We need another 5 LED strip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Much better. Alright, and then we need 2 for the landing lights. And I guess with the difficulty that I'm having to cut them and everything, I'll probably just go ahead and... weird. I'll probably just go ahead and leave them together. Alright, so 2 for the landing lights there. 2 for the landing lights on this side. So 1 there, 1 here. That's going to be tricky to get in there. We might have to play around with it some. Should be good, though. Okay, and then let's see. We needed 1 for the gun right here, which we already got. Need 1 for each of these landing legs. I don't think I've realized just quite how much soldering I've made myself do here. So I put 1 right there, 1 right here. All right, what else do we need actually? I already have 1 in the gunner's chair. We need 1 for this leg up here. So that goes right there. That's going to be semi-tricky to... Well, maybe not actually to get down in there. We could put it right in there. And then we need 1 up front in each of these forks. There we go. So 1 in there, 1 in there. And then finally, I guess one for the cockpit. That's the only thing we don't have, right? Yep, one for the cockpit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. All right, a few extras just in case we screw something up. I don't know where in the cockpit it's going to go or how we're going to get the wires in there. But we should probably figure that out now. Apologies. This is going to have to figure this out. It all got on here somehow. There we go. Is there a way in? Doesn't look like it actually. There might be, but it's a very tiny crack. I don't know if we can actually get a light in there somehow. I can see kind of where I'd want to put it, but even that would be very tricky. We could possibly do that one last. But I still need a way to get it in there. Hang on, let's see here. Yeah. Alright, so the light the amount of space in there does not really allow for this. We may not be able to do one in the cockpit. I think it's okay because I think that's the least useful one out of all of them. But I just don't think we're going to be able to do it. Not easily. Alright, that one's getting taken off the list. Sorry, guys. Not necessary. So that's another extra that we have now. Maybe we can run it somewhere else or put one on the lower gun at some point. That could work. Alright, that's the plan. So next thing's next. We need to figure out how we're going to wire the whole thing. And we know we're going to run the controller board up in here. Like so. Oh, that actually almost drops in perfectly right there. Probably have to turn it sideways, though, for the cord coming in. All right. So this USB cable needs to come up in here. And plug in. There we go. And then this power cord needs to come up in that same spot. There we go. And plug into the lights, which are here. I'm wondering how much of this I should pull in here. Just because. I might have to work that out, but that's okay. It's not too bad. And I think I can get this through to the other side over here where the engine starts fairly easily. That would actually probably be a good way to do it, to put some strain relief on the cable as well, if I could get it in there somehow and lock it in place. Oh, it might fit. Perfect. I probably didn't even have to cut that first one. Okay, I know you can't see it, but basically, I have this in here in such a way that if the power cable gets pulled on, it'll basically catch on something, and then it won't actually pull on the LEDs and the solder connections. which is really what you need for something in this scenario. I'm going to unplug the controller board again, as well as actually remove some of this power cable. I should probably, before I'm done, grab some electrical tape and just tape a few things up to make sure it doesn't move at all, because that will be a real problem once I get this whole thing kind of connected. But that's okay. That's a good start. All right. Black for ground, red for power, and then I guess green for data. That sound like a good convention to everybody? I know typically in house wiring, at least in the United States, use black for the hotline, and the green's ground, and the red is the neutral. But DC wiring tends to use different conventions, so which is what we're doing here. All right, let's get started then. So I need black to go from here to here, which is not that long. This is going to be tricky to do without crossing anything, but we'll see. So I guess I just err on the side of making it too long. Go, get a green piece the same length. And a red piece the same length. And this is, doesn't tell me what gauge wire it is. I'll guess. Gonna strip the ends off. Basically gonna leave as little exposed as I can, in hopes that will keep me from actually accidentally shorting anything. But I probably need some more than I think. Oops. Dropping everything. Dropping it all. This is going to be... I'm worried this is not going to hold very well against any kind of tension. We shall see. Seriously though, we do need to tell Adafruit to make the leads a little bigger on their NeoPixels. They have so much room, so it kind of surprises me that they haven't done that, because it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to just etch a little more away of the layer. Okay, I think that's good. That'll get us started right there. Yeah, that's definitely longer than it needs to be, which is fine. I'm wondering if I should go ahead and start soldering things together just to make sure it's working as I go. That might actually be a really good solution. There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah, I might actually want to do that. Alright, well, let me bust out the soldering kit then. slide it down, turn this on. Hopefully I don't blow a breaker. Okay. Still seem to have power to everything, so that's good. The positioning on this is going to be awkward in terms of like me having to solder things. I'm going to have to do some of it like literally on the Falcon. And that may be trickier than I'm realizing. All right, let me open up my solder over here. There we go. Alright, I know there's not a whole lot to see here. I'm basically just working on soldering these leads on, so bear with me. As usual, anything interesting to talk about, I'm all ears. I'm trying not to burn myself while doing this, because it is possible for this heat to transfer pretty well. And we'll see how well everything kind of holds together on this first one. Hopefully it all holds without any connection issues. Oh yeah, that's definitely crossed. There we go. That seems a little better. All right. I think what I'll do in the future is I'll use a smaller crimp size on this, and maybe that'll cut some of the threads off as well, and I'll make it easier for me to solder them together. I'm probably using too thick of a wire gauge, which is why I'm having so much trouble keeping them from hitting each other. But I think that'll work. And then, all right, so the next thing is I got to get it soldered onto this one here, which is going to be harder than it looks because I have to stand up and lean over and everything. All right, everyone be patient. I'm going to try and do this without burning anything. Setting the Falcon on fire would be the non-ideal way to start this right now. Let's just start by getting some solder on there. I'm hoping as I go, I get better at this too. Whew, it does not smell good. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to do that thing I was talking about doing. Whoops, just caught my headphones on the Falcon. Where I crimp these ends a little more. There we go. Okay. As soon as this one's in, I'm going to have to do a light test. Because there's no way I'm just going to keep going without it. All right. The biggest fear is something breaks along the way and I got to resolder, or even worse, I pull a pad up. That's possible to do in certain scenarios. That is really annoying to deal with. All right. Get my heat plate here. And then try and do this without burning myself. Ow. All right, there's ground. Data. Ow, 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 ow. And finally power. Please don't be hot. Ow. It was very hot. I didn't quite get it all the way on. Dang it. Okay, I think that's on. So now, we got to do a test just to make sure that everything is still working. I do that by plugging this into here. As wish. Data's on that side. Ground. It's on this side. Power goes into the lights. Oh, please work. And then run it. Okay, look at that. Even though we got wires soldered between them, everything's still working. So now, feed this in here into the engine area, and it should hold. Okay, perfect. I'm trying to get everything bent into place so that it looks a little better. Yeah, might have to come up with like some zip tie solutions or something for the whole thing. But that's okay. That's a good start. All right. Unplug this, and then I got to do some more wire on this side for the next strip. Yeah, let's see what we can come up with. And I'm going to leave that plugged in, the data lines and everything plugged in. Okay. Let's get some solder up on this one. This is going to be really hard to maneuver around now. I'm more worried than anything about breaking it off, but it seems to be holding pretty good for the moment. Just hope it stays that way. I wish there was a way I could wire up the whole thing and then just lay it in there, but I don't see myself reasonably being able to do that. There we go. Sit down for a sec since this is a little closer to me. And then we just needed to go over the centerpiece, which isn't that far, but we do want to kind of like have it wrap around, so I'm going to make the wires kind of long. Uh-oh. Everything's getting tangled in here. I suspected that would happen. There we go. All right. Yeah, it looks like that would be long enough. And green and oh no, the red fell. The red went back inside. Not good. This thing is terrible. This whole setup. I think I'm just gonna take it out. The pieces that I need, because this whole spool thing is not working easily. Get that out and get that out. All right. There we go. Drop the yellow back in because I don't need that. I'll just leave this off to the side. Excellent. Okay. So, have our wires, and we'll just do this by hand. Man, there's going to be debris all over this table when I'm done. Go. And then green. Green is good. cutting these ends a little short, but hopefully that'll be enough. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and solder those on here. So let's get this thing fired back up. And then ground first. I'm doing this all cross-handed from how I'd like to, but that's how it goes. Oh man, I really don't want this thing to go flying off to the side here like it's trying to. There we go. It's the ground. Then you need data. I've never tried to left-hand solder, and now seems like a really bad time to start. So let's do it. Okay. Somehow pulled it off. That right there was an accomplishment in itself, that I managed to do this in my left hand. And then 5 volts. There we go. That's on. Okay. Now we can move that over here, and then we got to get the next strand up here of LEDs. There. Actually, I got to go ahead and put some solder on them. Get the edges ready. Man, this thing's going to be really hot by the time I'm done all the work I'm having to do here. Trying to breathe the fumes in. Can you all see those on camera, the smoke? I guess not. There we go. All right, and then I just have to somehow get them attached to this point here. Get all these wires attached. So ground first. And I guess I'll slip this through here so I can hold it in place. All right, let's get this one. Come on. Stop moving. Please stop moving. There we go. Whoops. No. I keep breaking pieces of the Falcon. It's the worst thing that could be happening right now. All right, data. There we go. And then finally, power. There we go. All right. Quick test. Let's plug this power line back in. See if all our LEDs work as intended. Yep, looking good. Everything's still lighting up, right? Come back down, and then we should see, I guess green's next. There's green. All right, I'm going to stop that. And unplug this. All right. Now we got to seat that. And there's probably a limit to how much we can like put in at once because we keep having to pull things out to solder on the other ends. So I guess I got to put wires on the other end first. But I do need to figure out how long they need to be, so let's go ahead and try and get some of this in place. All right, bend that down. Slide that in there. And this needs to go tilt up. So I can get it around this bend here. Oh, man. Turning out to be very difficult. Solder is not like a strong material too. It's not designed to hold any kind of tension. So you gotta be very careful not to put tension on the solder points when you're moving stuff around because it will break. I've had it happen to me so many times. I was just finishing something up and then I accidentally pulled a wire loose. So very tricky not to do. There we go. And then this side has to go in there. Then we can flatten this some. There we go. And this side needs to bend down as well. To like right there, I guess. Oh man, this is gonna be so tricky. I like how difficult this is to do. I should have just gotten thinner gauge wire. It would have been easier to move around and bend without breaking anything. All right, so that's in place like that. Let me hold on. Still have some that are giving me trouble here. I've cut the wires so long that that's actually what's making it hard here, which is really kind of ironic because I did that to make it easier. Okay. Oh, I guess I need power in order to test this. All right, there we go. Trying everything I can think of to get this one to line up right. I think it needs to go underneath like it was before. All right, hang on. We're gonna have to do this a little carefully. Under there. Ah, there we go. That seems to have worked. Yep, that has worked much better. Excellent. Okay. Cool. Next. Alright, let me stop this again. Unplug the lights. Sorry, they gotta go. Alright, and then we gotta figure out how to wire up the next two. I don't foresee this being that difficult, which is probably why it's gonna be really hard. My soldering iron's cooling down some. That thing gets hot. Running at 760 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty warm, even for soldering, so. Okay. Let's get started on tinning the leads for this next one. I don't know if I'll be able to finish all this today. Now that I'm thinking about like how long it's taking, we might have to do some more this Tuesday night, which is fine. Let's do this without burning anything. There we go. And now I just got to get some wire on there. And then I guess a good question then is how long do we need the wire to be there? Probably the same length as before for short little runs. Trying to figure out how hard it's going to be to run it through here when the time comes. The answer is very. Okay, good to know. Oh, that would work. All right, I'll tend these leads real quick. Oh man, I know this is slow. This isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but once this is done, the lights will be more or less permanently affixed inside the Falcon, and then we can just tinker with some things to get them going. I'm going to tend the other side real quick. Go. All right, now we need to cut the wire. As far as the length goes, I guess we err on the side of too long again. Just fold things if we need to get them in there. This one is going to be pretty short though. That was actually pretty short. Make the power a little longer. All right, there we go. Now we just got to get these soldered on. We're making progress. It's just slow progress. Hold on, this got to heat up. My neighbors have decided to start bowling again. My upstairs neighbors. There we go. Data's on. Let's get power. Ow. I just burned myself with a soldering iron. It's power. And then ground. There we go. And then let's just go ahead and solder this end on this next set of lights. We're going to just run the whole thing underneath. So first we need power. Ow. Uh-oh. That might be a little too close to data. Don't want that to short out. That would be disastrous. There we go. And then we need data. And then finally ground. Yeah, I definitely cut some of these wires way too short. Ow. All right, there we go. That's on. Make sure there's no faults in our wiring. Okay, looking good. Everything comes on. Now I just got to somehow run this under here without breaking anything. All right. Okay, looks like the engine lighting is more or less permanently in. And then this is going to be our first test, really, of the landing lighting, if you can even see it. And you all won't even be able to see it, it's because it's on my side over here. But the answer is maybe. Power this up real quick. Kind of, not really. That's a shame. I had to finagle with them a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one to get right. Those may or may not work that well. We'll have to see as we go. All right. There we go. I might be able to make that work. I'm gonna just got to be very careful about how I do it. First things first, though, we gotta solder the wires on this end and get them run through up here for the next landing light. All right, go ahead and tin these leads. There we go. Hope everyone's having fun. All right, let's get some wires cut for this. We got to run it pretty far. So, let's see. That's a pretty good length wire. There, all the way out, all the way up, across, down, and then right in there. That's probably a bit too much, but we can always spool some up in there. It will make it a little easier to solder, though, with having the wires this big, so that's at least good. How's it going, Beth? Hope your Sunday's going well. Yeah, I got all the top taken off of it now. I'm just hoping that when I put it back together, I remember where everything goes. Okay, that's just one. Go on that one, and then we need data. Yeah, there's some snow coming here too. Here it's going to be a lot. All right, strip the ends. Go. All right, now I just got to somehow get it on this. All right, 5-volt first. Trying to figure out how I can hold this. This strip is so tiny that it's hard to hold it on. Hold it still while I'm working. I need a clamp or something for it. Whoa. Just about had something break on the Falcon. That'd have been tragic. After all that. Go. Power's on. Then data. I think that's on. And then ground. Yeah, I really hope I remember to put it, how to put it back together. It's alright though. I have the instruction manual just in case. There we go. Okay. Now, these have to run through this part here. Just semi-tricky. But that's alright. We'll run one wire at a time. There's one. All right. Trying to get this to go. Get it quite to angle up right. There it goes. All right, green wires through. Data. Now we need ground. They should, if they don't, make a Lego Technic module with these kind of lights in them. That would be really cool. Alright, come on. Looking for it. There it is. Alright, right, straighten it all out. There we go. And we're through. And then now I got to figure out how to somehow get this back in here. Get it into the landing leg area. There we go. I think that'll work. Kind of. Actually, not so sure on that yet. There we go. That still actually looks a little better. Okay. And then, yeah, there's plenty of wire on this side. So we might have overdone it just a bit, but that's okay. It's better to overdo than underdo it. Let me plug it in. Let's do a quick test. All right, we got some light coming out of the bottom, which is what we want. All right, cool. All right, let's get on to the next one. Let's move my soldering iron closer. We're getting closer to the front of this thing. Well, I don't have a lot of lead on this, so it's turning out to be very difficult. There we go. That should be it. Cool. All right, data lines next. All right, one more. Ground. There we go. All right, that's on, supposedly. Okay, now let's test the lights out again. Let's plug this in. Hope I didn't short anything. And go. Hey, there we go. Cool. Looks like everything's lighting up, and our extra one that we just put on the end here is lighting up as well. So that's a good start. So the engines are looking good. This landing light's looking good. Now we got this landing light that I'll have to stick down in there. Cool. I'm going to pause this now. And I guess we got to go ahead and solder wires for the next part of it, which is going to be way up here in the front. So that's going to have to be a significantly long piece of wire as well. All right, let's move this over here. Let that cool down some. I keep having to turn that soldering iron on to 760 degrees, so it's getting a little warm. The handle is not cooling down as fast as it keeps heating up, so it's getting hotter and hotter. And I don't know how much longer it's going to hang in there before I just have to stop and let it cool for a while. All right, that's probably ideal right there. Maybe a little longer just in case. Go. All right. Cut our red wire. So remember, for each one, we need a ground wire, we need a power wire, and we need a data line, because we have to control the color of the LED. So 3 wires between each one. Which is why this is taking so long. There we go. All right, now let's strip all the ends. So we have the exposed leads. I'm gonna end up with so much like rubber insulation in my keyboard by the time this is done, because it keeps like flying across the table whenever I do this. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I can pretty much promise. All right, now we gotta get them soldered to this light, our smallest light yet. So this is a little tricky for me to hold down and solder at the same time without burning myself. Hold that in place, please. And then let's turn this on. It's going to have to heat up a sec. Back to 760 degrees. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 60. All right. Uh-oh. Got something on the edge of it. Don't want that. Okay, I think that's on. Doesn't look very good. Oof. Hoping it's not making a cold joint there. I've got a pretty big tip on this thing, but it still seems to be having a hard time heating up the power and ground terminals. The data's fine because it's such a small line that doesn't require a lot of heat. Yeah, it goes almost immediately. I'm going to have to redo this power because it's so close to the data. There we go. There's a risk of a short there. Oh, interesting. When I pick it up, it heats up faster. I think my heat plate here that I'm using to protect the Falcon is actually stealing some of the energy. So it's making it hard for me to heat it up. Because as soon as it's lifted up, no problems. Very interesting. Okay. All right, wires on. Now, this one, I need to figure out how to actually get it into where it needs to go, which is way down in there, without breaking anything. Go. I think that'll look good-ish. Hopefully I left enough lead. Oh yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. Oops. Want that to come off. All right, on to the next one. Let's tin all the leads. Need some more solder. Another important thing to remember. This is actually kind of a lead-based solder. So you definitely need to wash your hands when you're done. And you shouldn't go straight to eating pizza afterward or a hot dog. Uh-oh. There we go. There's a certain art to this too, because when you're heating stuff up to, 750 or 800 degrees, which is not typically what you do when you solder things. You usually go a little cooler than that, but in my case, I'm trying to heat up some pretty big wires. You have to be careful how long you touch it for, because heat travels through the core in here, through the metal, into the LED. And it can break it. It can, if you leave it on there too long, you can absolutely fry it. So typically, you try not to touch it for more than like 3 to 5 seconds. I don't actually know. Yeah, it is 6337. For those of you that are wondering, shoot, it's tin lead, so 63 tin 37 lead. That's what he's asking. That's what Terrence is asking. Oh, got a message for something. Nice, okay. I've put up on my website a place to submit project forms, and now I got one of my friends who also runs a Twitch channel here called Bitimi, Bitimi. He's asking if we can make a MIDI controller for him, with the sliders for volume and stuff like that. All that really is a couple of digital buttons and then some potentiometers connected to ADC inputs on a micro. And then you just have to output that data through the USB. So it seems pretty straightforward. So we might give that a shot, so that he can then use it in his videos for stuff he's doing. But if you have a project idea, absolutely, let me know, because I'm interested in doing other stuff. After I wire this up and get it all working and everything, I know we talked about adding SD card. We might do that. And as far as the GUI controller that I had wanted to write, the GUI program to control the lights, that will probably be on hold for a little while. Assuming we have other stuff to work on. Just because it's not as interesting. I mean, it is interesting. It's just, other stuff is more interesting. So. All right, I'll try and not touch the heat board as much. There we go. In case anyone else was wondering, this board that I'm using to protect the Falcon while I solder stuff on top of it, this little green thing, it's actually just a proto board turned upside down, but it can take the heat without spreading it too much, so it's perfect for this scenario. It just, because it has a metal core, it tends to steal some of the energy, so it can be tough to solder on. Oh, that's a terrible way to do that. Hold up. I need to flatten that one down. All right, that one's soldered on, supposedly. The wire's pretty long too, so let's run a test just to make sure we didn't lose any of our data. Let's fire it up. There it is, looking good. All right, before I can put this one in, I need to solder the next one on, the next wires on. But I need to position it so I can at least see where it's going to go. Right about there. Drop that down in. Oh man, these wires want to go everywhere. I figured by getting threaded core they wouldn't want to bend as easily, but they really still do. Alright, that would work. Just a question of, can I get the top on before they all come flying back out? There we go. All right, that looks like it's gonna work. And then we'll have a light here in the front that could kind of look like a gun, I guess. All right, oh man, I left this on. Dang it, it's gonna get even hotter. All right, now that's looking pretty good. I'll need to solder the leads for the next wire. All right, this next one needs to go from there, come, actually I guess back and around, through here, and then over into above this right here. And I guess we want to drop that right there was probably best. I'd rather it go underneath. As tricky as it's gonna be. There's a lot of frame here, so I can't really take it apart because I need to get in there pretty good. Let's see. Although I could possibly just put it right there, and that would do a pretty good job. because I don't see a way I can reasonably, like... I want to run it, like, down into this frame and through, but I don't see a way I can easily do that without taking a lot apart. And I don't want to do that. Yeah, and then it'll have to come up here for the next one on this side, and then run back, hit this landing light, and then the center gun, and then these landing lights, and then that's it. Alright, let me tin these leads first, and we'll go from there. Ooh, it's getting hot. Alright. I don't know if you can hear it, but I think my upstairs neighbors are professional tap dancers. Oh, no. It sounds more like a herd of buffalo stampeding. It's just... I know they're probably not being intentionally noisy. It's just funny. You hear the steps going, all the footsteps. I'm not actually trying to be mean. Alright, so I gotta figure out. I guess I'm doing exactly what I said before, where I'm gonna put it up on top here. Facing down. Oh, you know what? I probably should have tinned the other side. Probably should have been doing that this whole time. Well, live and learn. Okay. Let's see what I can come up with here. We'll need the wire to run from here, up, over here, through there. That's going to have to go around because that's where it clips in. Up here, and right there. Cut it right there. This is a really specific path the wire has to take. Alright, and then let's cut data and ground, or power and ground wires of the same length. I hope this looks cool when I'm done. It'd be really sad to put all this work in and then just like, doesn't really look like anything. Or I know the engines look cool, but I'm worried about everything else. All right, there we go. Now let's strip all the ends, expose the leads. There we go. All right, now to solder them on without burning myself. Theoretically. Supposedly. All right, power first. Okay. Looks like kind of a cold joint, so I might have to try it again. Data. And then ground. There we go. All right, this can probably get moved over and put in its. This light can get put in the spot it's actually intended to go. Let's force these wires down in here. Oops. Uh-oh. Let me have this backwards. All right, there we go. Run these wires down and through here. They're supposed to be. No, stop. Just trying to. Dang it. Stay down. And that needs to go up in there. And pull this in some right there. That'll shorten it out a little bit. Okay, cool. All right, moving a little closer. You know, I really wish I had a hot glue gun or something. That would have been that would work really well here. Just to hold things in place. I should maybe think about that for next time. Because especially when you want to move something around, that stuff actually does peel off pretty well too. All right, let's try and get this soldered on so we can get our next light. $500, $600, oh, straight to $700. Okay. Ground. Need data. Data's on. And then power. Oops. I'm impressed with how great the signal integrity seems to be with these long data lines. This protocol, this WS2812 interface is pretty robust. There we go. Alright, let's do another test again. Make sure this LED that we just added doesn't break anything. And run it. Yep, looking good. Still on there. See the green work. There's green. Excellent. All right. So now I really need to try and get this one in the front here to stay down. I might have to see if I can find a hot glue gun I can borrow before next time, because that would really help me get some of this stuff to lock into place. Yep, right there. Perfect. Nice. This, once again, stay down. All right, cool. Now we need to do the next one. How are we doing on time? All right, 4:30-ish. Keep going till about 5. All right, I need to tin these leads. Go. Go. Uh-oh. I had some run through. Go. Okay. I gotta run another length of wire all the way up here. So that goes from there over to there. Let's see here. So from there, up here, over here. Uh-oh. Almost lost it. And down to here. So about that length. Think that'll work. And then we need data and ground lines that are just that long. Alright, there we go. Now I just strip all the ends. Oh wow, I keep forgetting to turn the iron off. It's gonna get really hot. All right. There we go. Then solder the ends on. Let's get my iron over here and heat it up once again. Iron's just like hot, cold all day. All right, there's ground. Then data. And then power. How's everyone doing? We all hanging in there? If you're sitting down watching the stream, now's a good time for the 7th inning stretch. I know this one has just been a lot of me just soldering different things very quickly, or slowly actually. So make sure you get up, move around, don't sit still too long. Don't know how tight that is on there. I didn't cut that lead very long. Ah. There we go. All right, another light's on. Once again, let's fire it up. Make sure that they all still work. Looking good. All right. Got one here that's looking a little... Oh no, it's working, okay. Just keep hoping that everything keeps working. Alright, let's unplug this. this over here. Gotta make sure this is long enough. Looks like it. Sweet, yep, should be, just barely. Okay, next we have to run wire all the way back up to here. All right, let's do it. So from there, all the way up and around. I guess I'm just going to jump over right here and have to go underneath that supporting bar down into there. So about that long. We've used a surprising amount of the wire that I bought. Like, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, but we are going to be using like 5 or 6 feet of wire in this whole thing. Okay, and then green for data. Man, after this one, we only have one more. Oh, man. I just realized that. I didn't think I would get this part of it done today, but it might be possible. It's going to be a long stream, but this might work out pretty well, actually. Missed a spot. Suppose while I'm cutting this one apart, I could leave the rest of them running just to show that they still work. Just for anybody popping in that's just seeing this and how it's going. Go. Well, that's cut apart. Now the next one, where is it? Should be right over here somewhere. I have misplaced an LED. But I know it's here somewhere. Probably knocked a few of them around. There it is. It's down in here. Let's see if I can get it out without breaking this. There we go. Alright, let me tin the edges of this so we can connect the wires. Alright. Oh man, it's getting so hot. Doesn't help when it has to run like constantly at 700 degrees to heat all this stuff up. Heat the tip heat up some more. The iron gets hot, it'll get like all the way to the 760 degrees or whatever that it needs to be, but then the tip takes a little bit longer to for that heat to get from the iron out there. And without that heat, this does not want to melt very much. There we go. The other side. There we go. All right, I gotta turn this off to connect the wires. In case you're wondering, you could theoretically, you could absolutely leave it on and connect the wires and it would probably be okay as long as you didn't cross anything, but that's the worry I have. If I accidentally shorted something to something else, I could cause a power surge in the whole system. That wouldn't be fun. In fact, it'd be a real pain. All right. This on. Dang it. Ow, ow, ow. Got a little hot. Trying not to burn the heck out of myself, but it's not going well. Yeah, I'm trying to be careful. Oh, this one is being particularly difficult to get on there. Ugh, that's on the edge. I don't like that. All right, there we go. That's probably about as good as that's gonna get. I'm trying not to burn my table as well. Okay, now let's get this next one connected. Ground's on, now data. There we go. Oops. See, the ground's got a bit of a short coming over. There we go. And then power. There we go. Oh, it looks like I actually heated up my iron a bit more. Oops, didn't mean to do that. All right, cool. Okay, supposedly that's good. Now let's power this on and run it. All right, looks good. So this needs to run this there, that there, and then this one up in here. Oh, man. And then finally through there out to the last one right here. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I wonder if I could almost just skip the last one if I pulled this wire back some and use this first LED that I have here as the landing. Actually, you know what? I bet I could do that. Let's put it right there. Yep. And that would actually save me the trip, and that would mean I could be done with this one. Ta-da. All right. Let me stop this and unplug it. I don't short anything out. Let's see if I can get everything kind of back into place. Just so it'll look cool. Look good for a photo, and then I'll have to go back in and take it apart again to like hot glue things down. All right, it goes in there, goes there. This runs out here. Through there, around that, over here. In there, back this way, down in there, and out the bottom here. Trying to run this through, sorry. And no, I'm being quiet. No! Don't do that. I think what I'm gonna have to do is go around basically and put on one panel at a time. And then that way the wires will stay down, everything will stay into place as I go. That's fine, that's doable. All right, let's move this out of the way. Now I'm done setting myself on fire. And we gotta start putting the panels on. Make everything look right. Back should be last though. At least a piece of the back should be last. so I can still see in to do the wiring. All right, so first things first. Probably this one. And then this one. Which is going to be a little tricky, but that's okay. All right, time to stand up and work on this. Ugh. There we go. That's that on. And then this piece. There we go. That drops in right there. And this goes on right here. Perfect. Okay. I think I decided one of these pieces had to stay off for now. I think this one can go on, because I can still see in there. Uh-oh. Oh, I forgot about this strip that I don't need anymore. There we go. That seems to be in place, and I can still see in there, which is good. That's actually not a bad piece to have be the last one. Okay, so now the harder pieces. I think I got to do this middle piece next, which is one of the harder ones. Oh no, you know what? I got to do the... I got to do these panels actually next, because there's some pieces that have to clip on. Come on, stay down. All right, hold on. Trying to get to stay. There we go. And pull this forward. There. I think more or less got it mostly in place. Drop this piece on. Hold that down. Yeah, it looks like we're pushing up a little bit over here, but that's okay. All right. Now we get this one. Okay. Uh-oh. I don't know that this will hold. We have room over here to work. Actually, I might have a way around this. There's a slot here I might be able to use to slide this under. Will it fit? Not quite. Well, I could probably slide under in here and pass through. It won't go over top. There's a panel in the way that I have to watch out for. There we go. That could work. All right, get back down in there, please. Oh man. I don't know why he doesn't want to stay down. Okay, I think I can make this work. All right, there we go. Now I got a piece down here. I gotta put on. And then this piece needs to go on the edge. All right. Okay, so now we just gotta get that. Actually, that helps a lot. Keep everything down. Now there's just a few things we really gotta push into place and get to stay. So next is this front piece in the middle here. Go. Cool. All right, now we got the tunnel. There we go. That's dropped into place. All right, get this. Man, I really don't want to have to redo the wiring on any of this. It would be really hard. This is next. There we go. All right, I think I can sit down. Oh, I missed one. I forgot about the turret at the top. Okay, that's all right. It's from where we are. That's not too hard to add in. I'll do it next time. Okay. Where does this go? I guess we get this one on first, because that definitely goes in right there. All right, that drops in right there, supposedly. All right, and that's that last piece right there. And I guess we can go ahead and put the cap on. Okay, so now let's hook this up. And then we just got to drop this piece on here. There we go. And then I guess we run this to see if it works. All right. That was a little off center. That one looking pretty good. Underglow is kind of eh. Some of them are okay. There's just like so much stuff blocking the light that it's hard to tell. But not bad. All right, let me move this over a little bit. Let's see here. We can just test running some of our engine profiles, which you'll be able to see on the corner here. I'll move this over a little bit. Turn the lights off. Not a bad idea. There's that blank spot in the middle, which I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. Oops. All right, let me go. We have to redefine where the engines are. I think it's 1 through 10. No longer like 1 through 12. All right. Let's do the engine test. Looking good. All right, I'll take the suggestion. Let me turn the lights off real quick and we'll see what we get. Maybe that's a little better. I'm going to run the full test pattern. Stop that, and then... Alright, let's try this. This is the full test pattern. You can see that there's... Okay, there is some underglow stuff, not a whole lot. And then some up in the front where we originally decided. It's kind of... What I need to do is go back in and like hot glue a few things down. But it is there. So there you go. Not bad. All right, I'm turning the lights back on. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool too. It's I think yeah, a few things need to be tweaked. But other than that, it looks pretty good. But we can go through and do that a little easier now. And I think I want to add one to the top here. All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it there. This has been a long stream, and I'm tired. But I think that's got us pretty good where it should be. So, yeah. Thank you all for joining me. And next time, I think what we'll do is we'll tweak some stuff and we'll start programming for the other lights here and see if there's anything that we can do with that. And just kind of see what we can come up with. So, in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything, ask me on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. And I think I said before I got the project request form. I'll put a link below soon. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm just exhausted now. That was a lot of wiring, a lot of work. So I'm gonna take a break, and I will see you all Tuesday at 6 p.m. and I'll keep working on this. All right, bye.